Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Asian Psycho, and this will be I want to say the 10th episode or the chapter to my, actually it's technically part of the 9th chapter because this weapon that I'm about to review, the C1851N, is the forgeable handgun that can be forged from the K5. So I decided to group it together with the K5 chapter for the Exploring the Arsenal series. It's not really related to the K5 in any way, except for the fact that it's forgeable from the K5, and that's the only way you can get this gun, by forging the K5. Not just the just the GP standard one, the K5 with a couple of fusion pallets, not fusion, but replica pallets, and I don't know how many it needs to fuse the K5 into the C51 and 1851N, but it's probably like 5 or 7 or so. So yeah. So like I said, it'll be grouped together with the chapter 9, which is the the K5 chapter for the Exploring the Arsenal. So yeah, let's get right into the stats of the C1851N. And God, it's gonna be a mouthful saying C1851N over and over again, but whatever, gotta do it. One disclaimer about this video though is that I typically do not do well with revolvers. There's a few exceptions to this, one of them being I believe I want to say what was that gun? The Anaconda 8-inch silver. That gun I really enjoy using as a revolver, and I do pretty well with it. It's just that this particular revolver is not my cup of tea, so I had a hard time getting some gameplay with this. And also, at the time that I was recording this, I couldn't find any pistol-only games at all. So I mean, I had to make do with what I could, and hopefully, the gameplay isn't too terrible. So yeah, let's jump right into the C1851N. Once again, this is a gun emporium weapon forged from the K5. Now, the damage on the C1851N is 64. So most revolvers are capable of 2-shot kills. In fact, they should be. But then the thing about this C1851N is the fact that sometimes it might not be a 2-shot kill. In fact, it may be a 3-shot kill. I do not understand why. I have seen people tank my shots and take 3 bullets to kill instead of 2 bullets, and I have no explanation as to why. I don't know. Maybe I'm just unlucky. Maybe the C1851N just isn't that great. I don't know. I feel like it's on the weaker side of revolvers, but it's still got a 64 damage. So I mean, it's still very much capable of pulling off 2-shot kills, which it should. Moving on to the portability. Its portability is an extremely high 93, so that's even higher than the K5 itself, so really good for running around with, that's for sure. For rate of fire, since it is a revolver, its rate of fire is at a 20, but this is still significantly faster than other revolvers, say like the Anaconda 8-inch or the Anaconda Black, and the Desert Eagle, like most of the power pistols. And so yeah, you can really notice the difference between fire rates between the C1851N and other revolvers. I think the rate of fire on the C1851 is like a douche, 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 whereas the Anaconda is like posh, posh, posh. So you can really feel the difference between the rate of fire on the C1851N and the Anaconda, for example. Moving on to the accuracy is at a 66. You can't really attach scope on the C1851N, so its accuracy isn't really all that important. But also, if you do want to think about the accuracy, about the direction of the bullet that will travel once you actually fire a bullet, like where it goes within your crosshairs. I mean, I guess you could call that accuracy, but if that really were the case, then it'd be a lot lower than 66, because I feel like this gun is not accurate at all. This is extremely inaccurate, so, I mean, I could be wrong. You guys could think that this gun is the best revolver out there, but I don't know. Whenever I tried to use it, it just didn't work out for me in terms of accuracy. Moving on to the recoil is at a 68, but that's only because of the fact that it is a revolver, and since it is a power pistol, typically most shots will always be kind of like a high recoil shot where it goes like posh, posh, And because of its fast rate of fire, you don't really need to wait for the gun to recover from its last shot as much. But I mean, it's still there. You still have to wait a little bit, but not as much as, say, like the Anaconda. So moving on to the what is it? The recoil spread. Because it is a revolver, even though it's got a pretty fast recoil rate of fire for a revolver, it's still slow enough so that the gun will be able to have time to recover from each shot every time you fire it. So the recoil spread doesn't really matter that much in terms of that. Moving on to the recoil kickback. The kickback on the C1851N is pretty significant. The recoil is at a 68, and you can really feel the pull of the upward pull of your C1851N revolver. So yeah, do keep that in mind. But also, because of its slow rate of fire, because it is a revolver, you don't really need to worry about too much. Because the recoil time that it takes to settle down from its last shot will kind of negate the high recoil kickback that the C1851N has. Moving on to recoil controllability, because it is single fire and it does have a much slower rate of fire than most other handguns. That being said, it is a power pistol, so I mean that's to be expected. The recoil controllability is quite easy in the long run, but if you were just try to spam it as fast as you could, I'm pretty sure you won't be able to handle all the bullets coming out of the freaking C1851N. So be careful in that respect. Moving on to its Tapfire ability. Once again, I don't really know why you would be tap-firing with a handgun, but that's your choice, I guess. It is single fire, so it may or may not be good with Tapfire. Moving on to a sprint drawback. Sprint drawback, like I said, is the time that it takes for your gun to recover from its sprinting animation. For the C1851N, it is pretty fast, so yeah, that's something to enjoy. And the draw speed is extremely fast. It is very similar to other forgeable revolvers, like the 44 Remy and other revolvers like that, but it still is very, very fast. It's almost faster than the, I want to say, whatever. Sorry about that, I just yawned a little bit there. It is 2 o'clock in the morning here, so gotta get some sleep. Let's see, moving on to the center speed. The center speed is actually, and once now that I think about it, if I can talk straight, is that the center speed for the C1851N is not that great at all. In fact, it's terrible. That's one of the reasons why I think the C1851N doesn't have much accuracy, is because of the fact that it's just not hitting its targets every time I shoot up people as fast as I can. So make sure you guys time your shots well. That's the most important thing I can emphasize about the C1851N. Moving on to the reload speed. This is where the C1851N really has an advantage. The reload speed on the C1851N is extremely fast. If you guys have noticed, if you guys have been watching the video, whenever I reload, all the animation is your character flinging out the spent bullet casings and inserting all 6 bullets in a row right back in. So that's pretty fast, and that takes less than like a second or two. So it's extremely fast. So you'll definitely enjoy the very fast rate of fire, or the reload speed rather. Sorry about that, on the C1851N. Moving on to its fire modes. Once again, the C1851N is only available in single fire, so you have to click on each bullet that you want to fire. Then moving on to the luck. This gun is not very lucky at all. I don't think I've ever gotten headshots with this thing, unless I'm completely mistaken. So yeah, you're not gonna get lucky with this revolver unless you're trying to do 1-clicks or something. Then that's up to you. Be my guest. Moving on to ammo capacity, it does have a 6-round magazine, or a cylinder barrel, whatever you want to call it, out of 18, I want to say. So yeah. It's I think it does have more ammo than the Anaconda Black, but we shall see. And moving on to the key physical characteristics, you can definitely tell the C1851N apart from other forgeable revolvers in its characteristic bronze/gold kind of color finishing. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It looks pretty nifty. And moving on to the muzzle noise. The muzzle noise is it's a loud, but it's a very short and quick, concise push, 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 push. I like it. It's not the best in the world, but I still like it. It's a lot better than hearing zombies crying out at you every 30 seconds or so, but whatever. Moving on to attachment options, I don't believe you can attach any other option to the C1851N because, yeah, it is a revolver. Traditionally, revolvers in combat arms have never been able to attach any kind of modification on themselves. So, whatever, we'll deal with it. And whether or not it's fireteam worthy or quarantine worthy. Another yawn. Sorry about that. For fire team worthy, I don't know. Like I said, any kind of pistol is good for fire team. If you want to go the power pistol way, then be my guest. But for quarantine, I would say that it is pretty worth it because of that 93 portability. So it's extremely fast, extremely useful for running away from zombies. But because of that low ammo count and because of the fact that you can't really spam bullets as much as you can, I don't know. It's gonna be tough. Now moving on to the frank personal opinions. My frank personal opinions on the C1851N is that it's a decent revolver, but it's not good enough to do it enough justice for you to just go out and buy the K5 and get some get some replica pallets and then fuse it into the CN 1851. So it's not really that worth getting, but I mean, still definitely an interesting handgun for you guys to try out if you guys have nothing really better to do and you're just bored out of your mind or something like that. So yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed, guys, and let's move on to my final rating. For the C1851N, I'll have to give it a... I want to say about 60%, and at mid-range I'm gonna have to say about a 40%, and then at long range about maybe 30%. That gives us a total final rating of, god damn it, 40, 60, 40, and then 30. God damn it, 30, and then divide by. So that gives us a final rating of 43 and a third %. So yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode. I apologize if the gameplay was too newbie for you, but I did the best I could. And yeah, this gun is quite interesting, but it's not, like I said, it's not really that great. There's nothing too special about it, other than a few things that other guns tend to share with it anyway. So it's not really that much of a big deal to me that the gameplay wasn't as good as some people want it to be, but whatever. So yeah, guys, that's been the real conclusion to my K5 Exploring the Arsenal video, Exploring the Arsenal chapter rather. And for the next Exploring the Arsenal chapter, I'm going to be going over the first two support weapons in combat arms. So I hope you guys will enjoy it. Look forward to that. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next episodes. Peace.